might say that I'm a loner, but I just call it.
It was established back in 1950. Melvin Belli and a guy, Bob Barbagelata, who I was lucky enough to meet at some point during my career. And I believe they educate, recreate, and celebrate was their motto.
He and my dad and Bob Barbagelata, they had an office. I think it was up on Montgomery Street, and I forget the exact address. I'd been up there as a child, but it was a very small office, and they had a desk that Bob Barbagelata and my dad shared. They sat on opposite sides facing each other. They were sitting one day, and Belli just came storming into the office, as he was wont to do, and just suggested that, you know, he was president of NACA and that it was a great organization, and we really needed to have something like that in San Francisco so we could teach our San Francisco lawyers how to try these cases. And my dad thought that was a terrific idea, and as did, I believe, Barbagelata. And so Belli and Shirley and some of the other people, and I know that my dad as well, were very active in actually getting the organization started and getting it off the ground. And so
one of the great things that SFTLA did then was, within a social setting, you had incredible opportunities to ask people more experienced, more knowledgeable than you. Hey, how do you do this? How did you do that? Wow, I heard about that. And you just pick their pocket for knowledge. And you got as much as you can. And part of the beauty was, as a young lawyer, is you take this works, you take that, it doesn't work, and you come up with a better product. That was one of the real benefits of SFTLA.
Lawyers got together, first by phone, and then meeting, very small meetings, small group of people. And then, you know, obviously has changed so much since then. We've had far greater attendance and far more sophisticated venues, and but still the guts of it are the same. The idea that of the friendship, the camaraderie, and the sharing of stories, the sharing of goals.
SFTLA was formed way back in 1950. The goal was to have a way to kind of balance the scale so that the insurance companies and the major corporations didn't run roughshod over the lawyers.
They meet at the Leopard Cafe, have drinks, exchange war stories, exchange information, and that was what started the process.
So I remember attending just a few lectures, and Bob Cartwright spoke, and I was just so blown away that you could have that kind of a grasp, not only of the language, but of the law and of its application, and that was potentially something that one could try to reach, but it seemed like a very, very long distance.
The best historian that documented it is Nate Cohen, and I think it was in the book he wrote. He described how one time Belli called him and half a dozen other lawyers to meet at his house and explained that he wanted to start a San Francisco Trial Lawyers organization to go along with California Trial Lawyers and the Association of Trial Lawyers of America and so forth. And he said, let's start this organization and I'll be the first president. And so that's how Nate related it.
SFTLA got started at the Leopard Cafe on Maiden Lane, I guess. And it came about as a result of, I know it was Mel Belli, I think it was Bob Barbagelata, and Phil Brown, and a few others. And they just started getting together to exchange information and swap stories about experts or trial techniques or whatever. And it became a little more formalized.
Wonderful organization, it still is, of active trial lawyers. There was it was socially enjoyable, and there was also great exchange of ideas and information. The members were all pretty much male at that time because there were not very many women trial lawyers. When I started practicing, there may be maybe one or two. I think that has changed dramatically over the years.
It started off, I don't know, a group of like 3 or 4 lawyers. And I think they were just tired of being punching bags for whatever the insurance company wanted to do. And cases were settling for $50 and $100 and $5,000. That was a lot of money back in 1950. And so I think it really started at exchanging war stories and how to be better. And it's really important what SFTLA has done in the community to not just help lawyers and their clients, but to just be active in the community that they serve and make the world a better place.
My view of SFTLA is that in the early days, it was the single best source of information among the members of the plaintiff's bar about how to successfully represent their clients, what the opposition looked like, what the tactics were. Because remember, nobody had mobile phones. People were typing on regular typewriters. There was carbon copies of things. And so it was critically important.
All took on the big dogs and fought for the little person and for the big important issues.
The ability to pick up the phone and call someone about an opposing counsel, about a judge, about a trial tactic. I always felt very welcome by everyone, and to this day still do that. And that sense of community.
Conventions that we've had, the combination of play, and alcohol, and education. I mean, it's been a really uplifting experience all along the line.
Just working with each other as we join forces, both in helping each other with information, with experts, with witnesses.
Has to do with part of our reason for being here. And I think part of our reason for being here is to leave the place a little better than we found it. And every member of SFTLA leaves this place a little better than they found it. And hopefully they leave some people better than they found them.
Some might say that I'm a loner, but I just call it being free. I am my heart's only owner, or at least I used to be. 'Cause now a wildfire is raging deep inside, and my heartstrings are pulling like the tide. And the match that drew a spark was a single stolen kiss. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. I've kept my feelings.